In my observation piece, I decided to do the religion of Islam, and the video I found was of a prayer service which was held in the Mosque of Nazarene in San Luis Obispo in California. And the group that this was done, the group that they followed was the Sunni Islamic Muslims, which is the biggest group and the most common form of Islam. So, in the room, there wasn't really any symbols or statues that really stood out to me. It kind of looked like a normal room. But what I did notice was in the beginning, before the prayer really started, there was a chant that was going on. And this chant was their call to prayer. And it was done by their imam, which is the leader, similar to what a priest is to Christians. And this is done to kind of call, like, hey, it's time to pray. And in Islam, this service was being held as part of the 5 prayers that they have to do daily. And there's 5 pillars in total, and this is one of the pillars that they have to do. And the 5 pillars are as follows. The Shahada, which is the recitation of the words of witness, and it's basically like their creed that a person, their creed that they follow, that they have to say. The next pillar that they do is the Salat, which is their prayer 5 times, which is what this service is being held for. The next pillar that they do is the Saum, which is their kind of like fasting thing, and they fast from dawn to sundown for a month. The 4th pillar they do is Zakat, which is they're giving money to the needy, kind of helping the poor type thing. And then the final pillar is the Hajj, which is their pilgrimage to Mecca that they have to make in their lifetime at least once. So, in this service, there was a lot of different differences compared to that of Christianity, which is the religion I am most familiar with. So the first difference I noticed was that the people didn't have shoes on, and that would kind of strike weird to me. And I looked it up. I kind of did some more research into why they weren't wearing shoes, and the reason for this is that it was to keep dirt from entering their place of worship. And then in what I've studied from the Islamic group, for their prayer they have to wash their eyes, nose, mouth, hands, and feet before they can. It's kind of like a ritual type thing that they do before they can pray. And so it kind of made more sense now, the fact that they don't have shoes on, because they're basically washing their body before they can go and pray. Another big difference I noticed, was the fact that they didn't sit in chairs or pews like that in a Christian setting. And instead what they did is they sat on the floor, and they had their legs tucked under their body. And the reason for this was that in their prayer they are bowing down and facing towards Mecca, which is their holy city. And it's just part of how they worship, and is the reason why they don't sit in chairs or anything, because it would be kind of hard to do that. Although there are very many differences in this religion to other religions such as Christianity and Judaism, there were some similarities, and the best similarity they had is that they still had readings from their holy book to that of how Christians pray in their service. And the holy book of the Islamic people or the Muslim people is the Quran. That's their major book that they read from. And then the book, and the opposite to that, or to equal to that, would be the Bible for the Christians. That's the book that they read from. An interesting thing I saw on the in their prayer was that they had a great bit about the ISIS group, which kind of gives Muslims a bad name and stuff like that. And they were basically saying that those groups are not Muslims. They're not a true Muslim people, because they're inciting oppression and war and stuff like that, which is something that they talked heavily about. That Muslims, they're there for peace and to unite people. And they gave examples of the Islamic people doing this in the past. And one of these examples was in Egypt. There was people being oppressed by there was Christians in Egypt that were being oppressed by a group, and the Islamic people came in and they freed them from it. And not only did they free them, but what they said is that they united them and made them stronger and in one piece. And another story they told was with Hinduism and the India, how the India people were being oppressed by a group, and they came in and united them. They came in and freed them, and they also united them in a group. So now today there are those groups sitting together. So you got Hindus, Buddhists, Muslims all living together in one united place. So kind of circling back to the whole idea of ISIS that they had, they were basically shunning them, which is something I saw important, which is something that I thought important that I didn't know that they would do. Like, I knew they didn't like it, but I didn't know that they would actually do that in open prayer. And overall, watching this video definitely brightened my horizons on what other religions are out there and how they service, and it kind of changes my viewpoint on different religions, because it's not all the same as in what I would normally see in going to a church service. And that is all I have.